Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the League One Transfer Rumour Roundup. These videos are coming to you guys very thick and fast as there are a lot of rumours and completed deals that are going on in League One, and there are some big ones to talk about in this video. So let's not waste any more time, people. Let's get straight into this video, and we will begin as ever by talking about the completed deals that have gone through in League One since the last episode. There's been a lot of movement at my club, Charlton Athletic, as we have completed the signings of goalkeeper Joe Walcott and midfielder Conor McGrandles from Swindon and Lincoln, respectively, on free transfers. If you guys would like to know more about those signings, then check out my Addicts Edition series. Now, this one was actually never reported for some reason. No journalist actually covered this, but released Charlton right-back Adam Matthews has actually found his new club. He has signed for Omonia Nicosia in Cyprus, linking up with his former boss at Celtic, Neil Lennon. And one signing that I didn't actually see coming, we covered this in the previous video, but Ben Purrington has found his new club, but it is not to the clubs that he was linked with. He was linked with, obviously, Plymouth, Sheffield Wednesday. He's ended up in Scotland and he's signed for Ross County, which I must admit was quite a surprise. I didn't expect him to go up north, but yeah, wish him all the best over there. Southampton youngster Caleb Watts has signed for Morecambe on a season-long loan, the 20-year-old midfielder. 20-year-old Rochdale winger Connor Grant has signed for MK Dons for an undisclosed fee. While Bristol Rovers have completed the permanent signing of Cardiff centre-back James Connolly. This one definitely is a statement signing by Joey Barton's men. Obviously had a very good loan spell in League Two last year. Struck up a good partnership, I believe, between him and Connor Taylor. Accrington Stanley have lost one of their standout centre-backs in Ross Sykes, who has made the move to Union SG in the Belgian division. I do believe they are owned by the same owner as Brighton. Big loss for Accrington, this one, Sykes going. We have seen a number of players leave Derby County over this week. The first one being goalkeeper Kelly Roos. He has completed his move to Aberdeen on a free transfer, linking up with Wickham centre-back Anthony Stewart. Some massive transfers going down on the 26th of June as the inevitable departure of Scott Twine from MK Dons was officially confirmed. He has made the move to Vincent Kompany's Burnley on a permanent deal, which is... Again, I think we all saw this one coming. You know, we spoke about Twine in the previous video. He had been linked with Sheffield United. I think Hull City were linked with him. He was getting a lot of Premier League interest. But he's ended up at Burnley, which I think is a great little signing for the Championship side. Obviously, I think he can play anywhere amongst the front three. He can play out wide or through the middle. But yeah, for MK Dons, this is a massive hole to fill in their side now. You know, he's come off the season of his life. 20 goals, 13 assists. Absolutely ridiculous season for a player that's only 22, which is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, it's a big loss for MK Dons and they've got a massive hole to fill. Oxford United have completed the permanent signing of Cardiff centre-back Kieran Brown. He spent the second half of the season on loan there, I do believe, and apparently impressed. And we spoke about this one in the previous video as well, but Malcolm Ebiowe's transfer to Crystal Palace has been confirmed from Derby County. Of course, Fabrizio Romano broke this story last week, and Ebiowe did really impress at his time with Derby. It is a big loss for Derby County. I expected him to be a massive figure in their team for next season. And another transfer that we spoke about in the previous video, George Grant has confirmed his Peterborough exit and he has signed for Hearts of Midlothian up in Scotland. The transfer just didn't really work out for him at all. Had a great time at Lincoln, made the move to Peterborough, had a gamble playing in the Championship. Didn't really work out for him. 2 goals, 2 assists in 26 games. He even said himself that it just didn't work out. Morecambe have completed the signing of Preston goalkeeper Connor Ripley on a free transfer. While Exeter City's George Ray has made his return to League Two, signing for Barrow. Lincoln City actually found their replacement for Conor McGrandles before the Scotsman made his move to Charlton, as they have completed the signing of Stoke City's Tashan Oakley Booth on loan for the season. We spoke about this one in the previous video as well, but Mikael Miller has completed his move to Plymouth Argyle from Rotherham. Obviously, he was attracting a lot of interest from a number of League One clubs. Fleetwood Town have completed the signing of Preston fullback Josh Earl on a free transfer. I think this is a very interesting signing. Obviously, has had previous experience at League One level with Burton. We spoke about Preston a couple of times in this video, but they have actually completed a signing from League One in Peterborough goalkeeper David Cornell. He joins the club on a free transfer. A club that has been fairly busy since the previous video is Shrewsbury Town. I have spoken about Shrewsbury a couple of times in my video, saying that I really like their transfer strategy, and they've gone and bagged some pretty interesting signings. They've completed the signing of Coventry right-back Julian Da Costa on loan for the season, Preston midfielder Tom Bayliss on a free, and Sheffield Wednesday centre-back Che Dunkley on a free as well. And to be fair, I like all of these signings. Da Costa obviously offering them a bit of cover in the fullback position. I know that they like to play the back five, and obviously the wing-backs like to push forward. Obviously on the other side, you've got Luke Leahy, who I think is one of the best attacking fullbacks in the league. So Da Costa could definitely offer something for them. Tom Bayliss, another option in midfield. Obviously they have lost Josh Vella and obviously lost Oliver Norburn over the year as well. But they have recently signed Jordan Shipley as well from Coventry. So Bayliss will add another option to the midfield area. And as for Che Dunkley, I didn't expect that one at all. Obviously, Dunkley had been linked with my club, Charlton, but it obviously was just a rumour. It was never actually reported that we actually put in an offer for him. So he's ended up at Shrewsbury, which I think is a really, really good bit of business for them. I think they've done really well to get that one over the line. Obviously, I remember Dunkley from his time at Wigan. He was absolutely immense over there, was a really good dominant defender, really good in aerial battles, good in both boxes. And Shrewsbury also recently completed the signing of Portsmouth attacker Aidan O'Brien. We spoke about this one in the previous video as well, saying that obviously O'Brien, there was a bit of uncertainty with his contract situation at Portsmouth, and he has chosen to sign for Steve Cottrell's Shrewsbury. So, like I said, I've been really, really impressed with Shrewsbury's transfer recruitment over the last season or so, and this year, they're definitely up in the ante. Funso Ojo has made his return to League One, signing for Port Vale from Aberdeen. And Burnley managed to capture another big League One signing in Oxford centre-back Luke McNally in a fee believed to be around £1.8 million. That's reported by BBC Sport. But yeah, another good pickup by Burnley, but another massive loss for a League One side. I believe McNally was one of Oxford's standout players last year. Charlton Athletic goalkeeper Ashley Maynard Brewer has completed a move to Gillingham on loan for the season, which I must admit I was really surprised and a bit disappointed with. I did think Maynard Brewer was going to be a key part of our side this season. I thought that he was going to be involved somewhat in the team, but no, we've decided to loan him out, which I guess makes sense. Obviously, Maynard Brewer is 23, still relatively young for a goalkeeper, and he spent obviously last season with Ross County and apparently had a good time over there. So hopefully he can get himself some regular minutes at Gillingham, which I imagine that he will. Burton Albion were in need of a goal scorer, and they have certainly got that with Oldham Athletic striker Davis Keillor-Dunn joining on a free transfer. Keillor-Dunn had a pretty good season individually with Oldham last year, despite them devastatingly getting relegated to the National League, which is still ridiculous to say. But yeah, Keillor-Dunn scored 17 goals at League Two level last year. Accrington Stanley have completed the signing of Burnley goalkeeper Lucas Jensen on a season-long loan. We've seen Accrington over the past couple of years utilise the Premier League loan market really well. Obviously, we've seen them loan a goalkeeper from the Premier League previously in Chelsea's Nathan Baxter, who was really good for them. Now, obviously, playing straight at Hull. Bristol Rovers centre-back Cian Harries has completed a permanent move to Swindon Town on a free transfer. Bristol City striker Saikou Jene has completed a permanent move to Cambridge United. The Gambian striker spent the second half of last season at Shrewsbury Town, and I really did actually like Jenner's interview when he signed for Cambridge. He said that he really felt wanted when he joined the club. Experienced midfielder John Nolan has made his return to League Two, signing from Bristol Rovers to Tranmere Rovers on a free transfer. Obviously, Nolan's been around the block at League One level. Obviously, was at Shrewsbury Town in their playoff final campaign. Obviously, he also played for Ipswich. And Reece Brown has made his return to Forest Green, signing from Huddersfield on a free transfer. I think it's pretty safe to say the move to Huddersfield didn't really work out for Brown. He's had a number of loan spells away from the club. I think at Peterborough twice. And even then, I don't even think the move to Peterborough really worked out well, considering the player that he's supposed to be. But yeah, Brown has returned to Forest Green, where he was doing really well. Derby County's Louis Watson has completed a permanent move to Championship side Luton Town for an undisclosed fee. Lincoln City have completed the signing of Halifax Town's Jay Ben for an undisclosed fee, coming over all the way down from non-league. While Sheffield Wednesday's Kieran Brennan has signed for Swindon Town on a season-long loan. And Lincoln City fullback Cohen Bramall has confirmed his move to Rotherham United for an undisclosed fee. We spoke about this one in the previous video. Of course, it was reported that Rotherham had triggered the release clause of Bramall to sign for the Millers, and that deal has now been confirmed. Barnsley midfielder Romal Palmer has made the move to the Turkish Super League, signing for Göztepe. Accrington Stanley have completed the signing of experienced winger Sean Wally from Shrewsbury Town on a free transfer, adding a lot of experience to Accrington's side. Has consistently got goals and assists for Shrewsbury over the past 7 years. Tottenham Town have re-signed Southampton striker Dan Inlandulu on loan in a deal that only lasts until January, which I was quite surprised by, as Wade Elliott, their new manager, did come out and say that he was their #1 target. So I would have expected that they would have tied this down longer, at least a season-long loan. Shrewsbury Town have completed the signing of Bristol City centre-back Taylor Moore on loan for the season. Yet another Championship signing for Shrewsbury. Wycombe Wanderers have completed the signing of released Manchester United striker Damani Mella on a free transfer. While experienced League One goalscorer John Marquis has found his new club and has signed for Joey Barton's Bristol Rovers following his release from Lincoln City. Definitely a much needed addition for Bristol Rovers. Felt that they did need to strengthen their attacking options, and we know what Marquis can do at this level. Very experienced and has scored for a number of League One clubs, particularly with Doncaster, done okay at Portsmouth, and also had a pretty decent spell at Lincoln where he bagged 5 goals in 20 appearances. Following his release from my club Charlton Athletic, Chris Gunter has found his new club today and has signed for Johnny Jackson's AFC Wimbledon, which I have to absolutely laugh about, because Gunter was absolutely awful when he played for Charlton, but he has now made the step down to League Two. I wouldn't get excited, Wimbledon fans, that's all I'll say. St Patrick's Athletic winger Dara Burns has completed a move to Liam Manning's MK Dons for an undisclosed fee. And Portsmouth have today completed the signing of Arsenal defender Zach Swanson for an undisclosed fee. So there are all of the completed deals that have gone through in the transfer window since the latest episode, and now it is time to get into some transfer rumours, but we begin with some off-the-field matters, and we have a victory for Derby County. They have finally been taken out of administration and the club has been taken over by Clowes Development, headed up by lifelong Derby County fan David Clowes. I do apologise if I have pronounced his surname wrong. Is another club that has been saved from dire ownership, and Derby can now finally kick on and they can now progress through their transfer business, and they can start putting their team together for the League One season. Of course, before this, when this was going on, there was a lot of uncertainty surrounding Derby, of course, still in administration. Another points deduction was being spoken about, and even their future as a club was in jeopardy. But from one club that has experienced poor ownership and was actually saved as well at the very last minute from administration, to another club, I do wish Derby all the best. And I really do send my congratulations to Derby County and all their fans, because they are an absolutely brilliant club. You know, they should never be in League One. They should never have been in this situation. Iran Kashin has signed a new contract with the club, and they've also brought in 3 new players already, I believe, on the day the takeover was confirmed. That, of course, being Tom Barkhuizen, Joe Wildsmith and Nathaniel Mendez-Lang. Now, Tom Barkhuizen, we spoke about this in previous Transfer Room Roundup videos. I do really like this signing. Obviously, he had been linked with Derby and Bolton, and obviously he offers a lot of experience. Joe Wildsmith, I think, will offer some much needed cover in the goalkeeper position. Of course, he had been released by Sheffield Wednesday. We spoke about that one in the previous video, and we also spoke about Nathaniel Mendez-Lang. And yeah, I'm not entirely too sure what to think about this one. Obviously, Mendez-Lang has previously done it at this level with the likes of Rochdale, and obviously has played for Cardiff as well. But I think there has been a bit of an attitude problem when it comes to Mendez-Lang, and his time at Sheffield Wednesday in the second half of last season wasn't brilliant by any stretch of the imagination. But I suppose he'll offer some decent cover for Derby going into this, and it's a free transfer, so it's not really much of a risk signing a 2-year deal. But yeah, not massively convinced by the Mendez-Lang signing, but I do like the looks of Wildsmith and Tom Barkhuizen. It has also been reported today, actually, that they are set to sign Cole Rushworth on loan from Brighton. Of course, spent last season with Walsall. We did speak about how in previous videos that he had been linked with a move to Portsmouth, but it does look like, according to Pete O'Rourke, that he's heading to Pride Park, which again will offer some much needed cover, some competition alongside Joe Wildsmith. Some other big news coming out of Derby before the takeover was completed. Of course, Wayne Rooney left his post as manager. He requested to be relieved of his duties. He is now gone, and he has been replaced by his assistant in Liam Rossinia for the time being. I'm not sure if Rossinia is going to get the job full-time. I don't know if he was actually appointed full-time or is he as interim manager or caretaker. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, with Rooney, it is a shame to see him go, because I did think he did a really good job last year. I mean, after all, if it wasn't for Derby's points deduction in the Championship, they would have finished mid-table. And I didn't really rate Rooney as a manager, to be honest with you, going into last season, but he really showed what he could do. He's been replaced by Rossinia, who I have heard very good things about. Rossinia had been linked with the Blackpool job previously, but that obviously has now gone to former Lincoln boss Michael Appleton. So it'll be interesting to see how Rossinia does. Apparently he was the brains behind the operation under Rooney, so we'll see what he can do. It is looking very likely that my side Charlton will be completing their 5th signing of the summer transfer window very soon, maybe as soon as tomorrow. At the time of recording this video, I'm recording this on Monday night, the second part of this video. Should I say I'm recording this video in 2 parts on 2 different days. But yeah, this signing could be set to be done tomorrow on the Tuesday, and that is for Fulham fullback Steven Sessegnon. The 22-year-old looks set to join us on a season-long loan. The fullback did sign today, actually, at the time of recording this video, a new contract with Fulham, and Sky Sports reported that he does look set to be heading to Charlton on a season-long loan. Richard Cawley first broke the news, and I must admit, I do like the look of this signing. He burst onto the scene at Fulham when we was in the Championship in 2019-20. He featured 14 times at Championship level. Then the season after that, he was loaned out to Bristol City for a season-long loan. And in that time, I think he joined in September for the full season. He played only 16 times at Championship level. Now, I'm not sure if he was injured or if he just couldn't break into the team, but I must admit, I'm quite surprised he's played that few games over the course of a full season. And then, of course, in the second half of last season, he made the drop down to League One and he signed for Stephen Schumacher's Plymouth Argyle, where, again, in the second half of the season, he only played 7 times, which, again, I'm quite surprised by the fact that he's played so few games in league football this year. From what I've heard from Plymouth fans, he naturally played in the right wing-back position, but also played at centre-back. We've got one full-back at the club right now, that being Mandela Egbo at right-back. So if Sessegnon is to be played at right-back, there's 2 good right-back options there in Egbo and Sessegnon. But if we are to play him at left-back, and let's say, for example, we don't sign a left-back before the opening day of the season against Accrington, Sessegnon can easily slot in at left-back. So I do think this is a good signing if we pull it off and if Sessegnon plays football, because, like I said, we haven't used the Premier League loan market effectively because we keep loaning in players just for the sake of adding a name to the squad, and they end up just being that, just a name on the team sheet. Obviously, there has been some big rumours surrounding Wednesday over this transfer window, and it has been reported recently that they have joined the race alongside Portsmouth for the signing of Swansea youngster Kyle Joseph. Obviously, we spoke about this in a previous video of the League One Transfer Rumour Roundup. Portsmouth had been interested in the Swansea striker. Last season, he was supposed to spend a season-long loan at Cheltenham Town, where he did okay. 19 games, 4 goals and 2 assists, as of course, as we remember, he was actually recalled by Swansea as Russell Martin wanted him to be part of his side in the second half of the season. However, Joseph only played 10 games and didn't score, so not the best of time there at Swansea, and to be fair, it's not really been a great time at Swansea, to be fair. He's not played an awful lot of games, but the striker is young, obviously 20 years old, still has a lot of time to develop, and hopefully for his sake he can get a move back to League One, which is where I think he needs, to be honest with you, if he wants to develop his career a bit further. They have obviously got Gregory Patterson, they've recently signed Michael Smith, and they've obviously got Josh Windass as well. So you could really say they don't necessarily need a striker, but you know, they're looking to add Kyle Joseph to their ranks apparently. Portsmouth obviously are in need of a striker. Obviously they have recently lost Aidan O'Brien, George Hurst has gone back to Leicester, and this rumour for Wednesday comes after today's news that they are no longer pursuing Charlton striker Jayden Stockley, which makes a lot of sense. I think us Charlton fans all saw that coming. I saw it very unlikely that Stockley would leave Charlton, especially after signing a 3-year contract last season, the season just gone. Obviously, he was very sought after in the summer window. Obviously, Charlton beat, I believe, Wednesday and Portsmouth to his signature. So yeah, I consider it very unlikely for Stockley to move on this summer window. Some players that Sheffield Wednesday are pursuing, though, are players that they had on loan last season. They are reportedly interested in bringing back centre-back duo Harley Dean and Jordan Storey on permanent transfers, I do believe. Harley Dean obviously coming on loan from Birmingham City, Storey coming from Preston in the second half of last season. Both, to be fair to them, had fairly decent spells at Wednesday. Dean obviously played 9 times at League One level for Wednesday, 8 of which was starts. He averaged 0.7 tackles per 90, 1.3 interceptions, 0.7 fouls, 2.1 clearances and an average match rating of just over 7. So he seemed to have a pretty good impact at Wednesday. As for Jordan Storey, it seems that he had actually a bigger impact than Dean. He averaged 1.6 interceptions per 90, 1 tackle per 90, 0.5 fouls per 90, 2.6 clearances per 90, and also an average match rating of 7. So both of these players had a big impact at Sheffield Wednesday last season, and if they were to sign both of them, they would be massive additions to the defensive line. However, it has been reported in regards to Jordan Storey that Ryan Lowe wants to keep the centre-back at Preston this year. So Wednesday are obviously going to be under a bit of competition there. Obviously, they're going to need to up the ante, and they're going to need to send off an improved fee if they're going to want to bring Storey. And there's nothing that's been said about Harley Dean, whether Birmingham want to keep him or not, but Preston seem to be putting their foot down and they want to keep Storey. And there has been yet another twist in the Malik Wilks to Sheffield Wednesday rumour, as Hull City's vice chairman came out and said that Wednesday's offer for Wilks was too low. It was reported that the fee was believed to be around £200,000, which, upon initial inspection of that, if that is true, that is definitely low for a player of Wilks' quality. But yeah, very interesting. It'll be interesting to see where this one goes. Will Wednesday pursue it? Will they go for a higher bid? Obviously, we've spoken about Wilks in the previous 2 videos, and yeah, this one will certainly be one to keep an eye on. A couple of rumours have resurfaced about Portsmouth, starting with Swansea duo Morgan Whittaker and Liam Cullen. Portsmouth have obviously been linked with Whittaker and also Carl Joseph in the past. We spoke about that one just now. Obviously, they're still interested as long as Sheffield Wednesday, but they are also interested in Whittaker and Liam Cullen. Now, the pair spent last season, or the second half of last season, should I say, on loan at Michael Appleton's Lincoln. Whittaker fared a bit better than Cullen. Whittaker played 20 games, scoring 5 goals and 1 assist. Cullen played the same amount of games, only managing just the 1 goal and 1 assist. So yeah, Whittaker fared a bit better than Cullen, but the two are still fairly young. Cullen at 23, Whittaker at 21, so they've still got a lot to prove. Obviously, they're falling a bit out of favour at Swansea, so they are in need of some game time at League One level. As we've said earlier on in the video, Portsmouth are in need of striking options. And we've spoken about this one in previous videos as well, but it was reported last week that Portsmouth were very close to signing Josh Griffiths on loan from West Bromwich Albion. As I said, we spoke about it in previous video. Obviously, Griffiths has had previous experience with Cheltenham and last season at Lincoln, where he played the majority of their games. It's been memed a lot over the past few weeks, with my club, Charlton Athletic, being referred to as Swindon Athletic, with the amount of people that we've brought across from Swindon so far in the transfer window. And we have been linked with 2 further of their players in the previous couple of days. That, of course, being midfield duo Jack Payne and Louis Reed. It was confirmed by a journalist the other day that talks were ongoing between us and Payne, but no further than that. And Louis Reed at the moment is just simply a rumour, so nothing has been confirmed as concrete just yet. But yeah, be interesting to see where these ones go. Obviously, with Charlton's midfield at the moment, we are looking quite stacked in the midfield area. Obviously, we've recently just signed McGrandles. We spoke about it in my previous video. If you haven't checked it out, I was saying that, you know, we've got a number of midfielders already, and more likely we'll have to move on 1 or 2 in the transfer window. If we do go ahead and bring these 2 in, we're definitely going to have to move a couple of players on. I mean, Payne obviously has got an abundance of experience at this level. He's 27 years of age. He's had previous experiences at League One level with Southend, Oxford, Blackburn, Bradford, Lincoln, and then obviously he's just been playing in League 2 with Swindon. I'll quickly run through his stats now. For Southend in 2015-16, 32 appearances, 9 goals, 5 assists. For Oxford in 2017-18, 28 matches, 3 goals, 8 assists. And he was also playing for Blackburn that year as well. 18 games, 1 goal, 3 assists. Bradford City, 39 games, 9 goals, 5 assists. Lincoln City, 23 matches, 2 goals, 1 assist in 2019-20. And then for Swindon this year, for 37 games, he scored 13 goals and got 5 assists. So a very creative midfielder, someone that can score goals and provide at League One and at League 2 level. So this one would be a very exciting signing. However, Payne is attracting a lot of interest from a number of clubs. Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth and Crawley Town are interested. Crawley have pulled off some absolute corkers in the transfer window so far. They've recently just signed Dom Telford, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. And they've also signed Dion Conroy as well from Swindon, who obviously has been released. And it has been reported that Jack Payne is apparently going to turn down a new contract at Swindon, so he will be on the move. It's just, where is he going to end up? And as for Louis Reed, obviously has also just come off the back of a really good season at Swindon as well. 24 years of age, and his stats from the season are really, really exciting. He got himself 2 goals and 4 assists, 9 yellow cards and 2 reds. In terms of his defensive stats, he averaged 2.2 tackles per 90, 0.9 interceptions, 0.9 fouls, 1.1 clearances, an average match rating of 6.98. In terms of his passing ability, it's also quite exciting, with 1.5 key passes and an 83.3% pass completion rate. So very, very good passing, very intelligent player, good defensively as well. He is naturally, I think, a defensive midfielder, so he would be obviously a bit of competition for George Dobson. But with the arrival of Conor McGrandles, who also, as we discussed in the previous video, is quite a deep playing midfielder, likes to play from deep and push up the field. He probably would also be cover for George Dobson, so it'll be interesting to see if we do go ahead with this. But it is just rumours. Bristol Rovers have been linked heavily with Ipswich striker James Norwood over the past couple of weeks, and it has been reported on a number of occasions that the striker is set to sign for Joey Barton's side. Norwood offers a lot of experience at League One level, obviously 31 years of age, getting on a little bit. Last season didn't play an awful lot of minutes for Ipswich, played just 23 times, but got himself 6 goals and 3 assists, so 9 goal contributions in 23 games. Not too bad at all. And it has also been reported that Bristol Rovers are interested in bringing in Wigan defender Luke Robinson on loan. It is believed that them and League Two side Stockport County are chasing the signature of the 20-year-old defender. He played 6 games in the Papa John's Trophy and he featured once in the Carabao Cup. So I don't think he made any appearances at League One level, not that I can see anyway from my research. But yeah, seems to be young and up and coming. I think Rovers were linked with him previously in January. Wycombe Wanderers have had some pretty good news over the last couple of days, with Gareth Ainsworth tying down a new contract, committing his future to the Chairboys. And they have also been linked with a new player in Fulham centre-back Alfie Mawson, which is definitely an interesting one, we have to say. Obviously, Mawson barely played any minutes of football whatsoever for Fulham last season. He played only 6 times at Championship level. He obviously is quite an experienced defender at 28 years of age, obviously ex-Bristol City, had a really good time at Swansea, and did actually used to play for Wycombe in a loan spell in League Two. He got himself 7 goals and 2 assists in 46 matches at League Two level. For a centre-back, is absolutely brilliant. And of course, he did help Wycombe to a playoff final, finishing 4th that season, unfortunately losing out to Southend United 7-6 on penalties after a 1-1 draw. So it would be a bit of a reunion for Mawson, obviously returning to Wycombe, and he had a pretty good spell over there last time, obviously many moons ago at League Two level, has obviously now found himself playing for Fulham, where he is struggling for minutes. So it is looking likely that Fulham will be looking to move him on in this transfer window, having gone up to the Premier League. So yeah, would keep an eye on this one. And then to wrap up this video, we will be discussing one of the most sought after players so far at League One so far this transfer window, and that is Forest Green fullback Nicky Cadden. Now, it has been reported that the 25-year-old has been subject to interest from 2 Championship clubs. Now, the clubs have not been confirmed yet, as he has just come off the back of a really good season at League Two level with Forest Green. Played 44 games last year, 6 goals and 12 assists as he helped them to a League Two title. The season before that, 4 goals and 8 assists from 35. So he has done really well in that back 5 that Rob Edwards liked to play, obviously with Cadden playing left wing back and obviously Kane Wilson playing right wing back. Wilson obviously has already gone to Bristol City, and at the time of recording this video, Cadden has now left Forest Green. But Wilson has now obviously already gone, and Cadden, I suspect, will follow suit very soon. I suspect he will be heading to the Championship. Who that is, only time will tell. But yeah, certainly some big losses so far for Forest Green in this transfer window. They've lost Wilson, they've lost their Bill Adams, they've lost their manager Rob Edwards, and they look set to lose Cadden as well. So yeah, some big movements going on at Forest Green at the moment, and they need to get their act together very soon. So that is it for this episode of the League One Transfer Rumour Roundup. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, can you possibly leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and turn on those post notifications so you are notified of every time I upload a new video. What do you guys think about the completed deals and the rumours discussed in this video? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any rumours that I have missed out in this video and you would like me to discuss in another video, let me know in the comments below. Obviously, I can't discuss every single rumour, as we will be here for a very long time, and I don't want that. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching this video. Again, this has been Tyler Robinson. Have a nice day, and I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all then.